This
having
conference will
RCM.
now be recorded.
So this SAP SuccessFactors RCM will handle recruiting process. Fine, recruiting process we all know. What kind of things it will do in recruiting process? What are activities that we do generally in recruiting? Some candidate, we will just post a job either in LinkedIn or in Naukri or some other Indeed or Monster somewhere. That's our activity, first from the HR. Then after that, some candidate applies to it. So that's candidate activity. After he applies, we process the interview, we schedule the interview, and we will assess him, and then we will release offer letter. That's again from the company activity. Once we release the offer letter, they accept it and they will agree to the terms and condition and join the company. So that is candidate activity. So total how many are there here? Posting a job is one, right? From our end it is posting a job. Then second one is applying for a job. Third one is assessment or process of the candidate. Then fourth one is offer letter release. So this is simple RC, right? The same thing system is going to do. You will have a specific role. Through that role, if you just click on one button, it goes and posts the job. Okay. Then candidate checks that in either somewhere and he clicks on apply and he fill his information and apply for the job. After he applies, he comes into the system for us where we can see the candidate details and assess him according to that. We will apply the status where he is in the RCM, and once he is good and we are okay to hire him, then we will release an offer letter. So all these four processes are important process. So these processes are carried out in our SuccessFactors RCM system. So RCM is nothing but our recruitment process. Can we see that in the system? Yes. So I am logging into the system. And trying to proxy to just a moment. The system is very slow. So you know it already, I hope so. This is an SuccessFactors system where we have the home page and this is our search which is going to come. So this system has 14 modules. How many? 14 modules are there. Okay. In 14, EC, RCM, RMK, onboarding. These are very important process of a new employee. If a candidate applies, if a candidate can find a job, if a candidate is about to come inside onboarding, then he becomes an employee in EC. So this is a cycle of a new hire which they have to follow. So in this cycle, RCM is a main important part or module which posts a job and then gets the information. If I go to recruiting, so we call this as a module picker where we can click on the module that we wanted to navigate to. So here, yes, anything, right? So here this is, we call it as RCM dashboard. This is a dashboard where all candidates, all open jobs which we posted outside will appear here. So here is some job title and we call it as requisition, job requisition, this one. And just cross to it, you see how many candidates applied, how many candidates have applied to that particular job. 8 candidates applied to digital expert. So we can view the candidates. Click on 8. So to that job, 8 candidates applied. Here are the 8 candidates. Okay. So we will have a status pipeline. This we call it as a status pipeline. Every time we process the interview, someone applied, it comes to new application. Once we check their resume and eligibility, we shortlist them. After shortlist, we can have the interview. Actually, on practice, offer has come here. After background check, offer has to be released. This should be here. Okay. This has to be changed. The status pipeline order has to be changed. Just give me a moment. So I am able to identify the things because I am working with the success factors. But you see, when you are trying to work, you should know where can we change all this, where are we updating them, or where are we changing them. So to change this status application, that means applicant status, I am here at applicant status configuration. Okay, so in this, which one is default? Standard status set. That means it is now working. You see, offer is after background only, in progress status. Offer, right. So this status pipeline says at what stage your candidate is in. Whether he is in interview, he is shortlisted, or he is at background check, or we release the offer. So these status we have to set up in the system. Then they will be coming. They will be appearing on the system for us. So this is a process that we do have for status. Every candidate comes who applies, then moves till onboarding, then he comes into the system as an employee. If offer letter is not accepted by the candidate, he will not be hired. He is not moved to hire. So we will be checking accordingly and processing this. So this is all the process that exists where we have the job requisitions, open jobs, to them how many people applied, candidates, and to that interview center. That means where we can schedule the interviews for the candidates or how much ratings has been given to the candidate here. So we can mention the ratings, yes or no or closed, open, how many are there, we can find it from interview central. Interview scheduling in the system itself, you don't need to go somewhere for the candidate. You can see the applied candidates here, and then you can click on that and you can select the person to have the start scheduling, and what is the interview title if you wanted to have, whether it's a phone, virtual, face to face, and select the rooms in your company. We can upload the rooms of your company. Okay, we can update that, and then who is going to take the interview. So you can mention the interview person. So it is J Baker. I just selected it. Okay, I can select, or if you wanted to select someone role in the requisition, you can. And then you come here, the slot, the time that you wanted to schedule this interview for the candidate for. So it is today, 11. And today, which slot you wanted to have. You can just click on add custom slot. Yes, and it is by, let me scroll down, 2 p.m. Add and select. So interview schedule is blocked. So for the interviewer, 30 minutes. If you wanted to have more, you can expand this 45 minutes. So this is done by your HR. They can schedule their interview of a candidate in the system itself. Then what is our work if everything is working like this? Our work is to enable this kind of setting where HR can process this very smooth. If they are able to find these values here, I have done some configuration in the backend. As an RCM consultant, you have to work to make the screen work flexibly. Now I click on continue. So even I can send a reminder to the candidate. So from this email, or you can have your company email updated to the candidate interview invitation. I can send an interview invitation to the candidate. Okay. So yes, then send a copy of this email to me also. Even I can select that, right? So this is a thing we do have. So this email will go to the candidate for interview schedule. So by this time we have the candidate, so we are selecting, or these are the templates available. So you can interview cancellation or interview team notification, interview invitation. So you can select out of them any template you wanted to use. How again these templates are coming? This is purely our configuration. So all these things according to your client request we will set up here. Okay. So even you can say SMS or email or which language it has to be sent. So all these things can be taken care. Now send to candidate. Now you see interview schedule was successfully sent to the candidate. So after it was scheduled, okay, now if I proxy to Miss Jada Baker, yes, okay. So I was speaking about interview central, right? So now when I proxy to Jada Baker, I will show you what happens there. Where is recruiting? Recruiting? Yes, recruiting here. Interview central. Interview scheduling. You got the candidate. The candidates to schedule is under her. Okay, cancel. So I given today's date only, right? Just give me a moment. Let the system take. Sometimes even you update, it will take some. Sometimes it will update immediately. Sometimes it takes some time to update. Okay, but once you schedule the interview, with whom you have scheduled the interview central will show the candidate here, so that while interview is going, you have to rate them here. You will get an option to rate them. So these two options will be very helpful for us to schedule interviews and look at the people. After this, if the candidate is okay, what will we will be doing is at job requisitions, we will again move the status. That means if there are a candidate, let me go. So they told 6 candidates. Where are 6 here? All requisition closed. Okay. Then I have to be back to myself. Once a requisition is closed, that means once the open job is closed by the due date, we cannot have it again. You have to create a new job, new open position again in the system. So yeah, we do have some candidate for admin executive, right? He is in onboarding. Okay. So what I can do is I can select and drop them at interview. Okay. So, or you have options here. Select this action. You can move the candidate to which status? It's interview status. Apply updates. So in this manner, an HR, once it is processed, they can move to the next steps. And every time someone applies to the jobs, they will get the notifications that the candidate has been at this place, or he is in background check, he is being interviewed. So these things goes on. So once we get for this candidate hireable status, then only we will go to manage pending hires. So there is a big connectivity between the module RCM, recruiting process, and manage pending hires. That means the place where The hires which are in progress will be there, which are not complete, which are pending, so those will be there. So there is things like, if it is hireable, we move that, okay, we move that towards EC. Or if we are using onboarding as an integration, that means, what is onboarding again? So after you said this candidate is hireable and we are able to move that, so we can collect some documents from the candidate. Before he comes into the company, we can ask him to submit his educational certificates, to submit his unique IDs in onboarding. So onboarding is all about employee data collection process. Okay, that data collection process will help us to get some information which we can use it in manage pending hires. So whatever, in whichever the module, as I told you, for new hires, very few things: recruiting or onboarding or drafts. If you are in progress of hiring and you have saved it to draft, it will come here. Okay, so the hire process ends here. That means the recruiting process which we are doing start from is easy and end at manage pending hires. Start and end are here only for the hire process. How? The start I will show you. So in the organization chart, I have to reach out to position organization chart. I told you open positions are sent as a jobs to LinkedIn, Monster or Naukri. So these are getting posted, or at least in our sites they will get posted. So these job open jobs, if any position is vacant, so if you see, this is to be hired, that means it is vacant. Okay, to be, someone has to come and hire. If you click on here, there is field class requisition for RCM. This is okay, already there is an job requisition on this created, so we can go use some other. Okay, so I will try to take some other, right? Already person is there, he is about to leave in 15 days, so we are looking for someone who can come to his position. So click on create job requisition. What happens when we click on create job requisition? So you can say from which date this new job requisition has to be created. So from tomorrow. So using this template, and openings are 1, create. It's successfully created. A open job requisition has been created one day. So it will be opening, and tomorrow if you go to RCM dashboard, which I am showing you in the recruiting, this job account executive will appear there. So here it will show this one, and once we open this job requisition, if anything from the recruiting end you have to update in the requisition, you can update, or else this can directly go for posting. So directly from EC it will not go for posting, it has to be reviewed in this place RCM, and whether all the information is coming from EC, and if we have to update anything we have to do it, or any questions to disqualify the candidate. How? You see, without having ourselves more stress while recruiting, if at a time some 1,000 profiles has been at you, we cannot interview all the 1,000 people. There can be some people who are eligible, some cannot be not eligible. So we need to have some system questions. So what we will be doing is, we will find out some questions from the system and we will try to add them here. So what kind of questions we can have is just a basic screening questions. So, are you authorized? So the most this we can use, are you authorized to work in the country? Add. So it is added now. So is it required to be filled by the candidate? Yes. Is it a disqualifier? Yes. If he is not authorized, if he says immediately no, then what we can say is disqualify. If we want to add some score or weight to that, if he given some score or weight, you can use this. So The options to this is yes or no. Or if you have different answers, you can update them and you can mark the correct answer for the question. If they keep no, immediately they will be disqualified. So this question is a disqualifier and the right answer is yes. If they choose no, then they will be disqualified. So this reduces an HR their work without again asking them, sitting along with them, utilizing some time. System itself will reduce our work by having these kind of questions. So there are different kind of questions, not only this. You can have some what type, that means you can have some free text kind of questions. Where is this? Is that added? Add. Are you open to relocate? Add. Yes. Sorry. It's already there. So most of them are multiple choice. There are three answers here. Yes or no or depends on opportunity. Correct answer is yes. So if you have depends on opportunity as your answer, you select that. Then they can also say whatever. If they opt these two, they are not eligible. So that the questions like this will be adding or reducing our work in the system. Okay, so a requisition which is open position in EC comes here for add-ons in recruiting manager. He adds some notes and he save changes and forward the requisition. Then only one person will have the authorization to post the job across the platform. So that person can post. If you see, this is a just preview. External posting preview. How this job will be posted externally. So not translated in the selected language. Let me see internally. So the language translations also exist. So while if I say there is a translation, how it will goes into effect is you have 4 countries for implementation of RCM success factors. These 4 countries you have 4 languages. So if you don't update any other language, if you are posting a job, this will show like this one. Not translated in our language, which I have opened is English US. It is not translated. It might be in English UK. I cannot see it. So translations are very important while we are doing this process. So we have all these things in place where we are going to do it in the system, right? So this is all about the RCM we do have. But what you are going to learn, let us see now. Just give me a moment. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. I hope my screen is visible now for you. Okay, so these are your training contents. So basic checks in provisioning and explanation about basic requirement gathering using workbooks. Recruiting operators, rating scale, route maps, pick list, role-based permissions, recruiting settings, JRDM and permissions, and candidate profile template, application template, offer template, application status configuration, which I was discussing you in the demo, multi-stage environment, candidate management, moving the candidate from one status to other status, adding candidates, etc. Then scheduling the interview, interview central, onboarding a candidate, moving the candidate to employee central, recruiting emails and ad hoc emails, integration with Outlook and third-party integrations. So these are all the topics that we are going to cover for the training of RCM. Okay. So what are you going to get is this content, and what other facilities you do have is your implementation guide, which will contain some 300 pages from SAP, okay, which SAP authorized book they have given us for implementations. You are going to get that guide, and along with that you will get a practice system, so you can practice in that system. Every day you will receive a task to practice in that system, and a topic wise document which you needed so that you can configure the system easily according to the process. And you will be receiving some certification questions of RCM, so where you can go for it and you can try to answer the certification questions as well. So these are the things or inclusions you are going to get from the training. So now, can we talk? Any questions, or what do you have doubts on the RCM process or from the training? You can ask me.
Good as of now.
Okay. So how, you might think how many days this is going to be. So this is going to be an 18 days session. So in 18 days, every day 1 hour session we are going to take it, and this will be, I'm not sure on the timings of this session. Okay, you can ask Subbu what are going to be the timings for the session.
How EC will relate all these things like onboarding,
Mm,
RCM?
right. EC is an data repository or data bank. Okay.
Yeah.
So this data bank, when you hire a new candidate, he turns into an employee. You have interviewed some candidate. That candidate is willing to join your company, then he becomes employee. So employee data is maintained in our EC. That means I should not manually do something or manually say to someone from RCM, please move the candidate to EC. The system will do this process without we think something in manually. So once you complete the candidate and he accepts the offer, we say confirm that he is hireable for you in EC. Then immediately the command goes to the EC system and they will be ready to move the candidate as an employee in EC. So with RCM or onboarding, the connectivity with EC is for new hire. All the information is collected here. Process or recruitment assessment is being done in RCM and onboarding. Then in onboarding also there is some background check or some extra data collections, documents of their certifications. Okay, all these collected and that updates to EC. Finally, anything you update in the system, the destination is to the data bank EC, or it has to come from EC. So that's important thing is EC is connected to every module because it's a data place. To
Mhm.
run this HR system, data is important.
Okay. So first we should come from EC or anything is fine.
So if you wanted to start with EC, that's fine.
Okay.
Or you can start here, but it's good to learn EC always.
Yeah. So then we can go one by one process where we
Yeah,
can understand.
yes.
Okay.
Even we
Okay.
can have this combination EC and RCM together.
Okay.
So it will take EC will be 25 days and this will be 18. That means total it will close to come some 43 days.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Fine. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions, people? Please just talk it out, whatever you have on your mind, so that it will be cleared here and you will have some good path. If you have some questions, even regarding success factors, ask me. If you have doubts, how can we get into this, or how you wanted to go into this path, you have anything related to that, ask me. I will tell you what's the process existing in the industry right now.
I
Oh,
have a question.
Yeah.
So I was actually thinking of getting certified in RCM. So can you help me with like where should I get started?
Yes. So the first thing is, whenever you wanted to do some certification, first you have to practice that system. Okay. Why you are trying to do certification is something you have in your company, that you are going to that project support, or you are asked to lead a project in RC. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right. So that means they also expect something from you. The client expect an certified consultant to be in their project just because they are experts, so that they can give the best out of the solution. So when you sit with the client in a workshop, what happens is they don't know our system. Truly, they come with no knowledge on success factors. They know that we maintain the data, we run the process. That's it. They will not have any knowledge on this success factor system. They come to you and sit with you on a workshop. They know something which they use the old system, or they know the workbooks. Now what happens? They will ask you questions in regarding to that only. They will never ask you questions with success factors. When they ask you that questions, you have to relate to your success factors and answer them. How can you relate? Just because you know success factors, you can say, better than that option, I do have my success factors is doing better. I do have this option, I can accommodate your system into that. So we should know the system completely and answer them. If you say something in a doubt, they will not accept. Or if you say it is not possible with the systems, later in the time, if they came to know that it is possible, that will be a big problem. So when there is a possibility, you learn everything from RCM, and then you can be eligible to be with the workshop. Certification is just a name to showcase. Anyone can do the certification, but if you wanted to sit with your client, if you wanted to sit with the workshop, then you should be stuffed and practiced in the system. So certification can complete through practice. Without practice, it can also complete, but that will not help you in your career. So one practice can make you help workshop, it will also help your certification. So one shot, two birds.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I have one question now. Everyone is asking, at least one implementation should be there. I mean, to hire a success factors employee or whichever is EC or RCM or whatever. At least they are asking for one implementation part.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how it is possible to get into experience for one implementation before getting into a job? How can we
So
showcase one implementation?
see, the immediate chance you get into success factors is never an implementation. So you will be into a group of support project. And even I don't suggest to a fresher to start with implementation, because implementation is an what I can say is, for a person who is good with the support, they can handle it,
Okay.
because they're all questions. Nothing else will be there in an implementation except the questions. Every time your client comes to you after every iteration and asks you, can we do this? Can we change the system? So we don't know anything. We are just the beginners of success factors, and we sit there and we cannot answer anything. But if you sit in support, what happens? You get, with the existing system, you get some tickets, you get some queries. After you work on them, you know most of the functionalities in the system. Suppose someone raised a ticket on job requisition, I am unable to see the job requisition, still the candidate is not moved to hireable status or something they ask. So
Okay.
now you will explore everything in the job requisition and regarding to the hireable status, that you are very good with that functionality right now. Now, if you go to an implementation, if they ask something about the requisition, you can clearly tell them everything. So you have to first start with the support. Once you are good at 1.5 years or so, you can
Mhm.
get into an implementation.
Okay.
That's also by the manager, they will identify the candidates who can be utilized to the implementation, and they will push them.
Okay.
So start
So
with support. That's a
sub.
good thing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Raju, I know that your mic is not good. If you have any questions, just put it in the chat. I will just let you know if I can answer them. So I think no questions. Okay. So if no questions, just drop your feedback with Subbu, and also let your Subbu know your availability time so that we can start the regular sessions of RCM soon.
So provisioning will be next session, right?
Provisioning will be shown to you, but we will not give the provisioning for practice.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. So thanks for your time. Yes, there is another person, Asan. You're on
Hello.
mute. Yes, Asan. Any questions from your end?
No, I don't have any question for now.
Okay. So yes, update Subbu your availability time and your willingness to join, and also give the feedback on this demo so that we will improvise better. Thank you so much for your weekend. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.